Alright everybody, and welcome back to BFME, to the Rise of the Witch King Christmas tournament. Today in the best of 5 in the quarterfinals between DJ Premier against Solas. It's gonna be a random mirror. We're gonna start the games on the map Forts of Eisen 3. And yeah, this is gonna be quite nice. I'm actually super excited about this one. So the second DJP is gonna hit that ready button, we're gonna be ready to go and start with the game number 1 right now. This is gonna be one of the most, entertaining and interesting games to watch for sure. And the first matchup what we're gonna see is going to be between Dwarves against Isengard. And yeah, best of 5, by the way. The players were able to ban out one map each from the map pool. So the maps Jungles of Farharat and Eastfold not gonna happen in this series. And yeah, if you are watching that right now at YouTube and you are wondering, oh my god, how is this possible? DJP already lost against Solas in this tournament. How is he supposed to play again? I will tell you about the reasons. DJP, yes, he lost in the round of 16 in the group stage actually already against Solas, but the problem was that in the round of 16 many people didn't show up. So in order to replace those players who were inactive and also to keep it as entertaining as we possibly can, we put DJP back in it. And that's being the main reason. On the left side of the map they have the blue dwarf player DJ Premier from United Kingdom, and on the right side we have the Isengard player Solas. German flag is upside down, yeah. Maybe that's gonna, kinda blow him up. 2 furnaces into the 3rd furnace, and the Uruk-pit is coming up from the Isengard player Solas. And yeah, we have obviously 2 mineshafts into the Hall of Warriors, and the builder from DJP was already able to reach to the right side. Remember, this is not being the Forts of Eisen normal edition. This is looking much different. It's much bigger, and we have now 2 spider creeps on the left and on the right side, replacing those water creeps. And on top of that, we have 2 signal fires added to this map. And yeah, mineshaft is up. He is trying to sneak more and more mineshafts, and this is gonna be better for the dwarf player because this map is much bigger. Obviously, those big maps, they favor, kinda those factions like goblins and dwarves, those factions are quite mobile. Alright, Guardians on the field from the dwarf player DJ Premier. On the other side, actually Solas was able to scout this area. The builder has to run for his life. And I'm assuming he can get one more mineshaft at the bottom left side. Let's see how much damage he will be able to deal. Rallying Call and Warchant are ready for both the players. More furnaces are coming up. Remember, this mineshaft is still on the field. The builder is gonna get inside. He might get now more units from it. And in the best case scenario, he should be waiting for both the Guardians and using the Warchant together. And Solas is actually building 2 wall hubs around the furnace. This way he's gonna limit the attack chance of those units. Rallying Call will be used on this first unit. They're also using no stance actually. And with the Rallying Call, 50% increased damage and armor, those units are gonna hit like a truck. And the second unit is also leading forward. Solas might be losing both the furnaces here at the very beginning of the game. And yeah, they are gonna... you should be using the aggressive stance to maximize the damage output, in my opinion. But yeah, the furnace will be taken down. Such a great start into the game from the dwarf player DJP, as he's also creeping at the very same time at the bottom left side, the troll creep. Floy Sigma, dude, welcome to the stream. Quager, welcome to the stream, my man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Alright, so far it's looking really good for the dwarf player, but Isengard player has many units on the field. We have 2 battalions of crossbowmen leading forward to the creep at the right side of the river. And he's gonna try to take down this mineshaft, and DJP will be just demolishing that, because there is no way of you saving that one when there are so many crossbowmen around. And archery range is up on the field for the dwarf player, and we're gonna get some extroverts on the field first. Later on, we might also get to see some of those Men of Dale units. And he was also able to capture this info himself. That means we're gonna get some hobbits fighting for the dwarf player DJ Premier. Signal Fire on the right side will be captured from Solas, the Isengard player. And we're gonna take a look into the power points and command points. DJ Premier, the Dwarf player, has 400 command points collected, 2.5 power points. On the other side, almost 2 power points collected by Solas, as he is sitting currently on 450 command points. And he's leading forward with 1 pikeman, half Death Battalion of Uruk-hai and 2 crossbowmen. Remember, he was not forced to use the war chant defensively before. That means he will have the buff advantage over his opponent. And especially those crossbowmen, they're gonna hit like a truck on those guardians. Let's see if DJP can actually defend this one. The mineshaft will be demolished immediately. The force works is coming up for the dwarf player as well. The fortress is putting in some nice work, damaging those units. But the units, they are very, very strong, especially with the buff from the war chant, which is increasing their damage and armor by 50% each. And he will be trying his best to defend, but those units are getting focused down from the crossbowmen. And like mentioned before, they are hitting like a truck. The builder has to be careful, but the builder from DJ Premier has been taken down. That's a big feels Batman. At the very same time, he's creeping at the left side of the river. And this is under attack from this Vorks at the bottom right side. He will be able to defend this attack in long terms, but you know, Solas was actually dealing incredible amount of damage, taking down so many units, and on top of that, also taking down the builder. The builder for the dwarf faction, dwarf player, is so important. He might even be losing this mineshaft in between those structures, which is obviously the most important mineshaft to keep it safe, and also really close to hit level 2. And we have also now lures on the field from Solas. Solas is popping off. He was also able to capture this in now for himself. The hobbits will be taken down from those Uruk-hai. And the builder has to be careful. He needs to get inside to get in safety. Pikemen are here. Oh, the builder has been taken down from the works. Unbelievable. There is a big feels Batman for the dwarf player. He lost both his builders. One to the Isengard player Solas, and the second to the war creep at the bottom right side of the map. He's capturing this signal fire for himself after securing this spider creep, but it is looking terrible. He needs to revive those builders, rebuild them, recruit them, and that costs a lot of cash. That costs 500 resources, and more than that, it's also gonna cost you so much time. During the time when you don't have a builder on the field, you can't expand, you can't sneak more mineshafts, and the Isengard player Solas has the time of his life. Oh no. It had such a great start into the game, but losing both builders within 1 minute is something, you know, you can't recover from that. Especially not against someone like Solas, who knows how to snowball, who knows how to execute the games. Alright, Rallying Call was used from the dwarf player DJ Premier. Warchan is still on cooldown, but the Crabine ability will be ready and can be used and will be used to debuff the enemy units. Extroverts are still being stronger than those units because remember, Rallying Call is a stronger buff than the Crabine is nerfing, so he has still 25% increased damage and 30% increased armor on those units. Lurtz is putting on the sword using his Carnage ability, which is increasing his damage by 200%. He's hitting like a truck and going inside the enemy units. He's getting level and experience really fast, and once he's level 5, that's gonna unlock his leadership ability. Remember, Isengard has a way to buff his units with the war chant. That's gonna stack with the leadership from Lurtz, and on top of that you have a way to negate the enemy leadership and even debuff them with the Crabine ability. So combat starts, DJ Premier is gonna call it GG, and the first game will be won by the Isengard player Solas from Germany. Very well done, super fast game, but a couple of mistakes, you know, made the game almost impossible to win for the player from United Kingdom, DJ Premier. And we're gonna not lose any more time, we need to just edit the scoreboard and we will be jumping right into the game number 2. Solas now one step closer to reach to the semifinals. At the very same side from Solas and DJP, we have also Mr. Smog, who's gonna face against Alex Shallnot tomorrow. And whoever wins that game will be facing against the winner of this series between DJP against Solas. Alright. We need to open the bets now again. 1 secondo. We're gonna jump right into the game number 2. But As you know, before doing that one, we need to spin our wheel to see what map is going to be the next one. So as we have seen the map Forza Horizon 3 already, we're gonna remove it from the pool and we're gonna update and spin our wheel. Bam, the next map is going to be Plains of Linden, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty damn good. Plains of Linden it is going to be. One of my favorite maps in the 1v1. And we're gonna see again a random mirror. And Solas, boys, Solas is looking very, very strong. Barking 2000, my man, welcome to the stream. Busheliga Minecrawler. Everyone, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, random mirror again. This is best of 5, so it is not the end of the world if you end up losing the game number 1. But DJP has to recover now, has to focus, and needs to make sure to win this game. And this is gonna be hard for him, because we're gonna see a Angmar mirror, and we know that Solas is a main Angmar player, so it's gonna be super hard. It is still winnable though. On the bottom side of the map, we have the red Angmar player Solas from Germany, and his opponent on the top side is going to be DJ Premier, also playing Angmar faction from United Kingdom. On the map Plains of Linden. I mean, it's up to DJP if he can make the map Plains of Linden to Plains of London. Get it, get it, get it? I'm funny, I know, because he's from United Kingdom, you know? That's the best joke I can do now at Saturday night. Anyways, 2 mills are coming up into the Hall of the Kingsman for both the players. Angmar is quite limited. You know, you don't have too much choices to start with at the beginning of the game. But later on, you can go for the second Hall of the Kingsman. You can go for the Troll and Wolf Dean. You can get some Troll, you know, Wolf Riders. You can get some Snow Trolls. You can even make some Sorcerers if you want to. So you have many, many different options. And let's see the early game. Early game is gonna be super impactful because we know both players are really experts. They know what to do. They know how to snowball the leads. And they know how to execute, as we have seen that in the previous game from Isengard player Solas against the Dwarf player DJ Premier. Alrighty. More mills are coming up. And what is the first unit gonna be? That's the question. They might go for the creep at the bottom right side to the troll. You can always creep the wargs at the left and at the right side of the map. But you can also get them into the Gundabad warriors just like DJ Premier. On the other side, also Gundabad warriors start from Solas. He's going for the second Hall of the Kingsman already. So he will have a couple of seconds advantage actually over DJ Premier. But nothing too crazy, nothing too spicy. The units are leading forward. And yeah, they are expanding quite nicely, making more and more mills. Solas is leading through the right side of the map, and DJP is actually moving through the middle. But by the time DJP is gonna be there, those Gundabats from Solas, they will be ready to defend. Both players starting with the War Chant, and it looks like Solas is going for the creep with the Gundabad warriors. Which is quite nice, I like it. Afterwards you will be gaining, you will not be only gaining resources from creeping this work, but also you will get a level 2 unit for yourself, which is obviously a big power spike early on. And it looks like DJ Premier didn't want to use the Gundabats to fight in a 1v1 situation. That means he won't be able to deal any kind of damage. So we can agree on one thing: Solas had again a better start into the game. Let's go DJ Solas. Sea Knights, dude, welcome to the stream. Alright, we're gonna see a fight around this area, so I'm assuming DJP is gonna use the War Chant. There we go. And Solas might be forced to use the War Chant also defensively, but he has already 3 battalions of Gundabats ready to defend himself. In the meantime, DJP actually was able to sneak one of those units forward. Wielder was able to get in safety, and Solas is also leading with this level 2 battalion forwards. But more units are coming. We have also 2 Hall of the Kingsmen now for DJP, obviously. And for now, we are most likely seeing those Gundabad warriors first. In the meantime, we have a fight around the bottom left side. Both players were using the buffs from the War Chant, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And it looks like this is looking good for DJP actually, if I can check the colors correctly. The builder from Solas has to be super careful, but the thing is that more reinforcements gonna follow anyway from those 2 Hall of the Kingsmen from the red Angmar player Solas. And yeah, Solas will be winning their fight, not even needed for more units, as DJP is trying to buy some more time and trying to stall a bit with those units. So far, not a single player was actually able to deal significant amount of damage to the enemy player, so everything is still being possible. But the fact that Solas was creeping early on and getting the extra resources from the treasure, plus, you know, getting the experience, giving him a slight advantage, but like mentioned before, it's nothing too crazy, nothing you can recover from. 2 power points collected from the German player Solas, 450 command points available. On the other side, 400 command points available for DJP, almost 2 power points collected as well. He should be easily able to save this mill with those extrovers on the field. We're gonna keep an eye on the next structure, and that's gonna be the Troll and Wolf team like mentioned before. That's gonna give Solas the option to turn those Troll Masters into the Wolf Riders. And having cavalry advantage means a lot, because you're not gonna be only mobile. That means you can hit and run, but you can always go for an all-out fight with your cavalry advantage. You can trample down the enemy units and take them down easily. 350 command points now, and on the other side, DJP actually upgrading his Hall of the Kingsman to level 2. That means we might get to see some of those Black Numenorians, and we have seen this already from DJP against King Mustafa. What he likes to do is he likes to purchase the banner carry upgrade and then use that on the Black Numenorians to get the charge attack unlocked. Okay, now Solas leading forward from actually many sides at once. He has 2 Gundabats at the top left and more units are coming from the middle. He puts a lot of pressure in the meantime. I mean, he's also defending himself quite nicely. Wolfteam is up on the field. You know what that means. We're gonna get definitely and 100% some Wolf Riders. And he was able to take down one of these mills. Thrall will be taken down. He was also able to take down this mill. That's actually massive. And if you take a look into the command points from DJ Premier, he has only 300 command points available against 450. And Solas also being 1 power point ahead. And he has the pressure. He has the units forward. And he doesn't, you know, he doesn't need to deal with any units from DJP. Yes, there are some units left, but he will be able to deal with them anyway. And he keeps the pressure by sending now some Wolf Riders forward. And there is no counter unit to that right now on the side from DJ Premier. He has no pikemen right now, and those units, they can get just trampled down. And that is being the case. I can smell a GG incoming now, because what you gonna do against such a reckless hit? They have 1 pikeman battalion now, but they will be taken down with, from those extrovers by Solas. The mill, one of the only mills he has on the field was actually able to hit level 2. That means he will get a bit more resources. But the thing is, offense is the best defense. And yeah, Solas has the cavalry advantage. Solas has the power point advantage. Now almost 2 power points. And Solas has also a big command point advantage. So that means he's not only gonna be able to make more units, but he's also gaining more and more resources. Delete game Solas. Nerf Solas, please. Solas OP. Solas cannot be defeated. And yeah, the mill will be taken down. He's demolishing everything, not even calling it GG. And Solas once again was able to win the game and make the score 2-0. Holy moly, this Solas looks super dangerous, boys. Whoever will face him in the semifinals or in the semifinals. I mean, I don't want to call it yet because we have seen many shenanigans, but in order to win the series and go to the next round, DJP has to win every 3 games left. So if Solas wins the next game, he will be advanced to the semifinals, and then he will be waiting to face either against Mr. Smog or against Alex Shall Not. And this semi-final is gonna be also super interesting. If Mr. Smog wins against Alex Shall Not, that means in the semi-finals we will have our world champion Mr. Smog against potential new champion Solas. But 1 second, I need to edit the scoreboard real quick, guys. And then everyone who was betting the points on Solas, first of all, congratulations, boys. You are getting a bunch of points now. And then we will be also spinning our wheel, as you know. Okay. So we're gonna remove the map Plains of Linden from the pool. We have Erech, Westfold and Forts of Eisen left. And the next map we're gonna see is going to be Forts of Eisen. Pretty damn good. Solas was the winner. And we're gonna open one more contest. I hope that DJP wins that one. Normally I don't mind. For me, you know, I'm actually more about entertainment. But in order to get to see some more games, I would be super happy if DJP would be winning this one. because that might be the last game of DJ Premier in this tournament. 1 second, I'm opening the bets right now. Here you go, boys. Now you are able to bet on the outcome of the game number 3. On the map Forts of Eisen, we're gonna see hopefully some shenanigans. We're gonna see hopefully some comebacks from the player from United Kingdom. Random mirror once again. Luck is gonna be super important. Oh, wait 1 second. Yeah, my bad. My bad, guys. Thank you for... I was just testing you guys if you was paying attention or not. And obviously you are paying attention. Thank you, chat. I wanted to rig the rules, but you was like, you guys are like in the school, I hope. I'm pretty sure all of you guys in the school were also always paying a lot of attention. Mr. Teacher, that's a mistake, Mr. Teacher. Right, alright. Let's get right into the next game. Now the scoreboard is also okay. Forts of Eisen, Random Mirror. The game number 3 is all about to begin. And Irvi is believing in shenanigans. Unfortunately for DJP, we're gonna see the same matchup like in the previous game on the map Plains of Linden. 2 games in a row are Angmar Mirror, boys. And I don't know if there is any player that can win Angmar Mirror against Solas. On the right side we have the orange Angmar player Solas, and on the left side we have the grey Angmar player DJ Premier. The score, as you can see at the top side of your screen, is being 2-0 for the German player. If Solas manages to win this one, and yes, he has a big advantage by playing his main faction, then that means Solas will be moving to the semi-finals in the Christmas tournament, getting one big step closer to the cash prize of $100, and will be potentially facing against Mr. Smog, who, by the way, first of all, has to deal with the man of the West, one-trick player Alex Shellnut. Okay, 2 meals into the Hall of the Kingsman, 3rd meal. So the beginning of the game is always like, you know, looking at the mirror. We are seeing pretty much the same thing from both the players. But later on, we have seen Wolf Riders against no Wolf Riders. We have seen, you know, damage dealt, management, micromanagement, decision making from Solas was just better. That was a very well deserved victory in the last game, the same matchup, Angmar Mirror on the map Plains of Linden. But maybe DJP was learning, because the best way to learn something is actually if you end up losing, because if you win the games, you're not gonna learn anything, right? Hey, thank you so much for the sub on the YouTube channel, Andreas Kiss. Appreciate it. I mean, he's not even watching the stream, but he might be watching that later on YouTube. By the way, guys, if you're watching it at YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button and definitely subscribe for more content like this. Thank you guys so much in advance. Right, Ganda bats are moving forward. It looks like Solas is pretty much doing the same thing what he did in the previous game. So he will be using the very first Ganza bat unit to creep the works. And so far this was quite significant, because that's gonna give him some early lead. As Solas realizes, okay, I can send those units forward, but what am I supposed to do with this unit? I'm not being able to do anything with that. Because if you are not able to deal the damage you're gonna need to take down one of these meals, then it's gonna be quite hard. And as DJP not even using his war chant, that's gonna be quite close. He might be able to take it down, then it's gonna be worth it, in my opinion. It's gonna be close anyway. And especially when the Troll dies. He was actually able to take it down. Not bad, not bad. In the meantime, Solas was able to creep at the right side of the river. We have some more harassments going on. DJ Premier was the first one who was using the war chant. That means Solas will have the war chant advantage once he will be able to deal with those units. And he should be able to, because there are some extrovers around. Never mind, Solas is gonna use those extrovers and those Gandabats to move forward, potentially to creep this work at the bottom right side of the map. The attack continues, and more extrovers are coming from the Hall of the Kingsman. He has now 2 of these on the field, by the way, and expanding quite nicely at the very same time, sending now some units to the top side. On the other side, also 2 Hall of the Kingsmen up on the field for DJP. 1.5 power points collected, and 1 power point collected from the player from United Kingdom. The Spikeman, who's gonna secure the creep? Who's gonna be this real pirate? Can he do it? Yeah, he was able to secure the creep, but the treasure goes to Solas. That means Solas is being the real pirate in this one. Yoda, my friend, welcome to the stream. Welcome back, Yoda. Thank you so much for tuning in. How are you watching this stream then? Magic? Yeah, of course. It's like Gandalf's grandson, you know, using the powerful ring. Alright, 2 power points for both the players, 400 command points for DJP, 350 command points for Solas, but Solas has the unit advantage. Solas has the advantage of resources regardless of his 50 less command points, because the treasure from both the creeps is gonna be super helpful, and he's moving forward. He also used the war chant, by the way, on those units, and those units, they look scary. I see 3 battalions of extrovers, 2.5 battalions of Gundabats, and the third Hall of the Kingsman is coming up for DJ Premier. Okay, I mean, he needs to defend defend this attack, but his war chant is being on cooldown, and Solas is gonna be just stronger with those units, obviously. 50% increased damage and armor means a lot. And at the very same time, similar situation like in the previous game, Solas has now time to expand, because he is not being attacked at all. He's the one who puts the pressure, and he puts effective pressure. I think sending units randomly forward is not gonna be doing so much for you as you would be expecting it. And Solas manages with those units to get in, to get back. Really impressive gameplay from Solas so far in the game number 3, like in the previous 2 games. Solas only playing with 2 Hall of the Kingsmen, but he has now one of these level 2. He didn't purchase the banner carry upgrade, but I see already 1 Black Numenorian on the field. The Elite Swordman is gonna be super strong. That's gonna force, if nothing else, DJP to spam many more extras. And once those Black Numenorians manage to hit level 2, and they are also quite tanky, by the way, when they are using the whole ground stance, they will be unlocking the charge attack, just like with the Guardians from the Dwarf faction, or with the Half-Troll Swordman from the Goblin faction. And that's gonna buff their damage and armor by 50% each. At the same time, Solas is creeping at the top right side to the troll, and that's gonna give him the option to capture this in for himself. And now DJP will have the buff advantage, but Felwind was actually used somewhere. I didn't even see the Felwind being used. Did he use it on the troll maybe? That would be Fiesta. And yeah, War Chant is being used. That means he will have the buff advantage now. Black Numenorians are still being tanky, and if you lose them, it's gonna hurt you big time, because they cost 400 each. And with 3 Hall of the Kingsmen, I mean, DJP will actually be able to outspam Solas. But is it about quantity, or is it about quality? That's gonna be the main question we will be finding the answer about. But the Black Numenorians are actually getting killed. Those extroverts are still putting in some nice work. DJP has to make sure to save those units if he possibly can. If you end up saving the trowel from the unit, they will be recovering over time. More units are coming now through the middle, and we have some small fights going on at the bottom side of the map. 500 command points available, 8 power points collected by DJP, and 475 and 2.5 power points plus the 5, that means 7.5 power points collected by Solas after starting with the war chant. And yeah, he keeps the pressure, and he's gonna get probably more extroverts. He should be getting more extroverts in my opinion, but he's gonna get Gundabats instead. Now Solas has also many extroverts. They are also recovering, as Solas was able to save a couple of those units. Troll and Wolftin is up on the field. More Black Numenorians are coming, and he could turn the next Trollmaster into the Wolf Riders and use the fact that the Angmar player DJP doesn't have any pikemen around. Gundabat special summon, ladies and gentlemen, but that's gonna be Fiesta once the Wolf Rider is gonna be on the field, because the war chant advantage is on the side from the German player Solas. So he could easily buff them with the war chant and trample those units again and again and again. So the Gundabat or the Orc special summon from DJP might not be as effective as he would, like. And war chant will be used. There we go. The mill will be taken down though. I mean, DJP now has to deal as much damage as he possibly can. And he's getting now some spearmen, that's pretty nice. And those units, they might be in trouble, they're stuck in between. I mean, he's losing many of those Wolf Riders now. Oh my goodness. Both the units are gone and the attack continues. Boys, ladies and gentlemen, that means we might be possibly able to see a game number 4. This game is looking very good at this stage of the game. At this stage of the game, DJ Premier has to win this one. We have some units with the torches leading forwards coming from the inn at the top right side. The Hall of the Kingsman level 2 will be the first target, and he manages to take it down. That means no more Black Numenorians, no more shenanigans for Solas. But those Wildmen of Dunland, they are hitting like a truck with the torches, and every time they hit, they are gaining resources. Solas is gonna call it GG. That means we are going to see a game number 4 in the best of 5 series between Solas and DJ Premier in the quarterfinals for the Christmas tournament. Pretty damn good. And we don't have much maps left anymore in the map pool, and we will be rotating that after editing the scoreboard. Scoreboard. Guys, how amazing would it be if we would see one more time Angmar Mirror? Tell me, how amazing would that be? 2-1 it is. So whoever was betting on DJP, congratulations boys. I think Irby was betting on DJP. Now we're gonna open the contest one more time. Who will win the next game? Solas on the one side from Germany, and DJP on the other side from United Kingdom. I can't tell actually if Abba is sporting DJP, because Abba is also from the same country, or if he's sporting Solas, because they are close friends. Okay, did this one. Now we're gonna spin our wheel. And first of all, we need to remove the map Forts of Eisen, so we have only Westfold and Erich left. And the next game will be played on the map Westfold. There we go. Pretty damn good. Okay, so Westfold with the Hammer of Thor. Where are they? Oh wait, 1 second guys. Alright, so we continue with the game number 3 on the map Westfold, random mirror again. So we have seen 2 times Angmar Mirror. I hope that's not gonna happen to us a 3rd time. I'm crossing the fingers. Starting the game. Ooh, what's gonna happen? Goblins against Mordor, and DJP has a chance! DJP has a chance! On the right side of the map we have the Goblin player DJ Premier, and on the left side we have the yellow Mordor player Solas. So, I mean, super interesting and entertaining matchup for sure on a map like this. And Mordor is known for the early weaknesses, pretty much, right? And early on, I would say the spam game is gonna be super important. We know that the Goblin warriors are stronger than the Orc warriors in a 1v1. However, the Orcs, they are a bit cheaper. And later on, in the late game, I'm pretty sure that Mordor is one of the strongest, if not the strongest faction. That means that DJ Premier, the Goblin player on the right side, has to win the game before the 15-minute mark. Like after 10 to 15 minutes, it's gonna just become much harder for the Goblin player to deal with the Mordor player. And what I think about the Goblin faction in general is Goblins are probably the worst faction when it comes to deal with a flying hero. Indeed, we have seen many games in which, you know, against Elven faction, when there was a giant eagle, the Goblin player, he couldn't do anything about it. And Mordor has potentially 3 flying heroes, you know what I'm saying? 2 Nazgûs and a Witch King. So, with that being said, you don't want to give too much time to Solas. And Solas is in the spam mode by the way, boys. 1 Orc Pit, 2 Orc Pits, 3 Orc Pits. We have 2 Goblin Caves up on the field already for the Goblin player DJ Premier. He didn't pick any PowerPoint ability just yet. Leading forward. War Chant start from Solas. Solas doesn't want to rely on the late game. He want to be effective and he want to be strong with the buff War Chant, instead of going for the Eye of Sauron and hoping to collect 10 power points in order to unlock the industry ability. Okay, 3 Orc Pits, you know, this is gonna be many spam, many things, and Solas is exclusively using those Orc Warriors in order to keep those slaughterhouses safe by placing those Orcs right in front of them. Very smart. This way, the Goblin Warrior won't be able to attack. And that's the whole promise of playing Mordor at the early game. You want to be defensively strong, and you know, then you can strike back and put so much damage. And yeah, Goblin players obviously sending more units. What DJP needs to do at this point, in my opinion, is just, you know, don't try to put some pressure by sending only 1 or 2 Goblin Warriors, because that's gonna be at this stage of the game almost impossible. maybe try to fight for the map control, try to get some creeps for yourself. Maybe that's the play style he should be aiming for, in order to get the power spike, in order to have the advantage over the Moro player, command point wise, resource wise, then you can actually start snowballing. 4 Goblin Caves on the field from DJ Premier. War Chant is from Mordor player ready, and again, the Goblin player didn't pick anything just yet. The reason for that might be the fact that, you know, Mordor could go for the Eye of Sauron. Eye of Sauron is getting big time countered by the cave bats. Not only he's gonna debuff the enemy units, but he's also gonna nullify the enemy leadership. I think that's why he's holding it. He's just gonna wait to see what's gonna be the first power point choice from the Mordor player Solas. And then he's gonna make his move. More units are coming. Solas now sending some units forwards through the bot side and through the top side. This tunnel might be in trouble. And many goblins are around, but he needs to defend himself. He now sees those 2 orc battalions. And now he's actually finally taking one of these creeps for himself. But so far, Mordor player Solas untouched. 3 orc pits and a troll cage, ladies and gentlemen. That means we're gonna get to see some of those mountain trolls very soon. Okay, he was using the War Chant now, offensively. And that means that DJP can also go for his War Chant. It looks like he wanna go for offensive move, but he was losing many goblins to the troll. And this tunnel will be taken down, by the way. Orcs are winning the 1v1 fights now with the advantage of the buff. And the main question here is how much damage DJ Premier will be able to deal to Solas. Will he be only able to take down 1, maximum 2 slaughterhouses? Because that's something Solas can easily recover. But can he take down maybe 3 to 4 slaughterhouses and build himself an advantage? Because right now, he's losing those fights. He lost one of his tunnels, he lost a couple of goblin warriors, and he's, using every source he has right now for offensive purposes. Indeed, he will be able to take down the 2nd slaughterhouse, but I doubt that he will be able to deal much more damage than this. The first mountain troll is going to be on the field very soon. 3 power points collected by the goblin player and almost 4 power points collected now by the Mordor player Solas. 350 command points against 350 command points. Even score, even game right now, but we know the time favors Mordor player Solas. Okay, another tunnel might be taken down. I mean, he will have still the rubble in the worst case, and it's gonna rebuild over time. But the fact that he can do that when there are so many goblins around actually means that either he's doing an impressive job, and I don't wanna talk it low, but I think DJP is also being very rusty, in my opinion. I mean, maybe he needs to get just some more games in order to be back in form. And yeah, Solas is definitely looking scary. He's moving forwards at the top right side, for no reason actually. He can now creep this at the bottom left side if he wants to. More orcs are moving forwards, and the troll is gonna be also super hard to deal with. And if you are struggling against 1 mountain troll, I don't know what you're gonna do against 2. Okay, Fissure is on the fields. Yeah, this is something what you can do, this half trolls spearmen. I think they are the strongest pikemen in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And those units are taking the creep. Yeah, I think in general that goblin faction or goblin player is gonna struggle when it comes to deal with the trolls. And normally you can see Mordor being in a much worse situation than he actually is right now. I mean, he is in the best case scenario right now. He is actually putting even some counter pressure and expanding quite nicely. Eye of Sauron will be used. That's gonna be a leadership, and War Chant is gonna be ready. War Chant and Eye of Sauron, as you know, are able to stack. That's gonna make the units from Solas much stronger. Indeed, War Chant will be used. Crabine will be used from the Goblin player. That means the leadership from the Eye of Sauron will get negated, and they will also get debuffed. Trolls are smashing one of the Goblin caves, and he will be able to take down 2 of these. But they gotta be careful. The pikemen are gonna hit like a truck on them. And he was able to take down 2. I mean, the rubbles are gonna rebuild potentially at some time, but it's gonna take a lot of time. Okay, he will be able to defend this attack, but the fact that he was able to deal so much damage, and the fact that he was able to save both his mountain trolls, even if they are low, remember, all they gotta do is just find an orc and eat. Bam, full health again. Nothing too crazy. They are still in safety. He's going for more tunnels. Fissure level 1. He's moving forwards. PowerPoint wise, we can tell that Solas is being massively ahead. Also command point wise, he's 4.5 power points away from getting the industry ability. I think that's the power point he's aiming for, or he should be aiming for. He is creeping at the bottom left side as well on this works with the orcs. And yeah, that means actually we won't have any more. We have the troll in the middle of the map, but that's it. So no more creeps left on this map. I think Solas was able to take 2 and... I think Solas was only able to take this one, and the other 3 war creeps were actually taken by the goblin player, DJ Premier, who is now making a move and moving forward. Yes, he has the warship advantage right now, but the question is how much damage will he be actually able to deal? Because those goblin archers, they are not... I'm not underestimating them, but I feel like they are not very strong against trolls. Warchan will be used, but the troll, I mean, look at this. I see 4 mountain trolls, and they have the rocks in their hands. They are smashing those units on the ground, and he's microing with them quite nicely. And they are, you know, they're gonna outrun those pikemen. So as long as they keep running, there is no way those pikemen will be able to, you know, catch those trolls. So troll cage level 1, and yeah, he's knocking down those units, even though they are not dealing too much damage. But he keeps knocking them down, disabling them, denying them the attack. They are looking for the damage they are looking for to deal. And you know, you can't do anything about that. Look at this. It's not like you have to deal with one of these. He's also going for the tower. At the same time, he's trying to put some counter pressure. Like mentioned before, those structures are rebuilding over time because of the rubble. 8 power points collected, 8.5 actually from Solas. 550 command points available, ladies and gentlemen. So only 1 power point and a bit more away from getting the industry. I mean, look, he has such a great resource income right now, and with the industry he will be just much stronger, and maybe it's not even gonna be needed. On the other side, the goblin player DJP has almost 6 power points collected, 525 command points, and he has now Azok on the field. Azok on the other side is gonna be good against the trolls, and also with the level 2, so you will get some resources over time by killing the enemy units, and yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard. For the next fights, Solas will also have the War Chant and Die of Sauron ready, as the goblin player DJP is trying to creep this. 5 mountain trolls, by the way, and the structures are going down, and you can't underestimate that. If they ever gonna reach your fortress, they're gonna smash it down within seconds. So, I mean, DJP has to spam much more pikes, because making goblin archers, how effective this is going to be. I mean, you will need like 10 minutes to get one of these trolls down, but then yeah, good job. But what is gonna happen with the other 4? Look how much time they actually need. 7 power points collected by goblin player, 525, 650, and industry unlocked and used on this slaughterhouse in the back, level 2. Look his resources, boys. Look Solas cash, and he's going for the Nazgul. He's going for a Fell Beast. I'm assuming he might even potentially go for the Witch King with 4,500 resources, but I'm assuming it's gonna be Camille or Morgomir. But for the show purposes at this stage, he could be saving. Nah, he's going for the Fell Beast. He's going for the Fell Beast, and that's gonna be a GG situation. I don't see a coming back from this situation for DJ Premier. Yeah, you can't deal with that. You can't deal with that. I mean, he's quite mobile, running around, smashing those structures one by one, and yeah, dealing so much damage. They are hitting like a truck. But look, everyone has to attack like one time, and then the structures or the Goblin Cave is done. So, I mean, is the Fell Beast even needed? That's the main question. Solas is popping off this game. He's using Shanks for reverse strategy here, yes. Yes. I mean, I think the only possible way of winning that one is he needs to do that with himself, what I was doing with Irby when I was playing for before earlier today. He needs to use those mountain trolls with the rocks and smash his own fortress. That's the only way of winning that one. So Solas has to suicide kinda, you know. You can't do anything about that. I think that's the... I mean, but I don't even know what was the mistake from DJP. I think it's like a perfect execution and a perfect play from Solas. Because he knows the weaknesses of Mordor in the early game. So what he did basically was he was using those orcs at the very beginning for defensive purposes. Placing them right in front and in between those LotR houses in order to keep them safe. And then he was just scaling into the late game. That's what he did. And then he was grouping, dealing some damage. But even if he wouldn't be able to deal too much damage to the Goblin player, at some point, at some stage of the game, he's gonna outscale. And obviously the war chants into the Eye of Sauron, into the industry, and then the trolls. The trolls are definitely the MVP of the game number 3. DJP is still stalling, but this Fell Beast, Camille, is not gonna be easy to deal with. He's gonna move through the middle. They have some units, Wildman here and there, and you know, some of those half-troll swordmen. He's even using the cave pads, but there are just too many units to deal with. Just much more units. And yeah, he was even using buff on them, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he was using War Chant as well. 725. I mean, I'm not underestimating the resource income. I'm just asking myself, how are you supposed to deal with that? I mean, Mordor's economy is super nice. Look, he has already collected 2,700 resources. That means he can go for the second Nazgul. He can go for the Morgomir, you know. And then, if the game goes longer, he can get a Witch King on the field. Then you have about 3 flying Fell Beasts on the field in a map like this against the Goblin faction. And I see even attack trolls. That's pretty dope. I like it. I like it. I think he's saving for the Witch King, by the way. He has almost 4,000 resources. A level 3 troll cage. 13 power points collected after War Chant, Eye of Sauron and Industry. 825 command points collected, boys. Pretty damn good. I mean, you can also go for the lumber mills, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, on this map, Westfold, you have so much trees around, especially around this area. When you place it right here, you have many trees around. So gaining this extra little resources. He's going for the Witch King, by the way. Witch King is gonna be there very soon. And yeah, Goblin player is struggling. 675 command points. Attack Troll will be taken down though. Attack Trolls, they cost 1,000 each, so quite expensive. The Fell Beast is gonna recover over time. Tainted Land will be picked from the Goblin player. After having War Chant, Cave Pads and the Wildman of Dunland. On top of that, 3 power points collected. But it's Azog actually, he needs to be around if I'm not mistaken. Awakened Worm will be used from the Mordor player Solas. Azog is here, level almost 3, or yeah, level 3 now. And he's being attacked from those orcs. You gotta be super careful, the Worm is actually able to kill him. And this Worm is dealing so much damage to the structures. And yeah, I mean, the Goblin player is pretty much surrounded. He can't do anything about that. He's losing his tunnels now. He has still a lot of time. Will be repositioning himself, will keep attacking. Azog is level 3. I mean, he's gaining somewhat resources with this ability Pillage, but he's losing all his Goblin Caves. Yes, he has also 2 Goblin Caves in the back. Will be just repositioning himself again, and will be taking this one as well. Look, the damage output, that's actually crazy, that's nuts. Holy moly. He's not gonna go for it, I think he's just gonna go for the Goblin Cave instead. Okay. I mean, the Nazgul is here, level 3, and I think he's just gonna finish what the Worm started on the Fissure. Yeah, he's also dealing a lot of damage to the structures. I mean, he has Screech on cooldown, and the Witch King is coming now as well. So, yeah. And he has almost 2,000 resources collected again, and he's not like, it's not like he's saving money, he's also making attack trolls and many orcs. So that means soon, and with soon I mean literally in 1 minute, he gonna have his 3rd Nazgul on the field. And Industry is gonna be ready anyway, that's gonna be helpful. DJP is calling it GG, and once again in the Christmas tournament, actually for the 2nd time, Solas manages to win against DJP, and well-deserved moving to the semi-finals, and waiting for his opponent, who is gonna be either Mr. Smog from Ukraine or Alex Shall Not from USA. These games and many more games will be happening tomorrow. Pretty damn good. And we're gonna take a look into the current stage of the tournament real quick, boys. So this is the current stage. We're gonna edit that real fast. So Solas was able to win 3-1 against DJP. That means he's being in the semifinals. Like mentioned before, this is going to happen tomorrow. I like it against Irby, also going to happen tomorrow. We might potentially, after this games, also jump in the next game. And potentially, if Mr. Smog, for example, wins against Alex Charnot, we might be even able to see the semifinals between Mr. Smog against Solas tomorrow. The reason for that is we want to be finishing this tournament, next Sunday. Next Sunday we need to be done. So we can get still many games, and then you have still a couple of days left, and you can train when you are being in the finals. And Imperialist against AWHW will also be happening tomorrow, and we also potentially might get to see the games again from the winner against Fairy in the quarterfinals. Pretty damn good.